I'd like to invite anyone who has experienced mild to severe anxiety, panic, or any fearful doubts that hold you back in life to keep watching as I share with you what steps I took to free myself from agoraphobia. I've been where you are, and I can tell you there is freedom from the crippling grip of fear. Welcome, I'm Brandy. I've spent the last 15 years on a spiritual and self-empowerment journey. I recently became inspired to share the wisdom I've gained along the way to help you reclaim and integrate the lost parts of you. For me, it was around 2018 that I began to experience severe bouts of agoraphobia. I hadn't suddenly and out of nowhere developed agoraphobia overnight. It was after years of anxiety and panic that my nervous system had become so dysregulated that I found myself unable to leave my house. Countless times I went places only to turn around and go back home. Broke down into panic, getting groceries. I left family events early or stayed in the bathroom away from others just so I could gain some sense of safety in my body. I couldn't drive for a time or eat in restaurants. That was horrible to me. Because of the physical symptoms of fear and anxiety and agoraphobia that would overcome me. It would overcome me to the point of dizziness and nausea. I was always slightly better with my husband and kids around, but if I had to go anywhere alone, I was in a complete panic. Some physical symptoms of agoraphobia are feelings of disassociation. It's as if you aren't really experiencing reality. Alongside the dizziness and nausea is a racing heart or heart palpitations, sweating, skin crawling, lights and sounds become too much to bear, and thoughts of doom and or non-stop racing thoughts were a constant struggle. Little to say, my nervous system was fried. And for the longest time, I didn't try to heal it, but I tried to push through. I'd leave my house, knowing, yet ignoring, this frantic and chaotic state that I was in. This is a bad idea. With that said, I'd like to share some steps I took to completely overcome not only agoraphobia, but the anxiety and the panic that went with it without the use of medication. However, I do want to add, if you need medication, there's zero shame in that. These practices can be done alongside any medication that has been prescribed to you. I'd like to add that healing takes place on multiple planes. There is not one cut and dry remedy for anything. Because of this, I can't share everything in this video, but I will share the most significant practices, and in future videos, I will go more into the healing modalities. Also, healing takes time and patience. This took me years to heal, and that is perfectly okay. So, to get into it, practice one. Practice one is removing fear-based thoughts and programs. Yep, stepping right out the gate with this doozy, because this is the heart of agoraphobia and any anxiety disorders. So this is a huge one. Now I want to say here, I am not trying to change anyone's religion or their view of God. My intention is to share my story with hope that you can help heal from it, that I can help heal you from it. Until around 2016, I was a Christian. I was deeply convicted and I was deeply religious. Yet I hadn't always been. In my teens and 20s, I didn't live up to church dogma. I'll admit, I lied, I've been divorced, I've had sex before marriage, I had a child out of wedlock, and I'm sure a lot more. I deeply feared for my soul. Once I examined all my fear-based beliefs that came from church dogma, I deconstructed out of Christianity. I then slowly began replacing those fearful beliefs with loving beliefs. Deconstructing Christianity and coming out of religion happened fairly quickly for me, and yet the beliefs lingered on and on. It was so bad. I believed that I was going to burn in hell for doing yoga, which is a deeply healing and nourishing practice for the nervous system. Every time I came across something new, like yoga back then, I questioned my beliefs about it. Even a simple question of, would God condemn me for this? And if the answer was yes, I challenged that belief, and I changed it. I refused to believe any longer in a wrathful God who would torture his creation. Again, I'm not challenging anyone's views of God, but if you deeply believe your every thought and actions are going to be judged, how peaceful will your soul feel? It was no wonder I couldn't leave the house. After all, none of us can stop our minds from judging our neighbor. Therefore, I was being sent to hell every time I walked out of my front door. So moving on to practice 2, I gave myself permission. Giving myself permission to stay home if I needed, to not go to the store, to not go to a family event, or wherever was huge for me. I was allowing myself to accept where I was. I would tell myself, I am scared, and I fully accept and allow that. I don't have to go anywhere when I feel unsafe. Not forcing myself and instead listening to my nervous system, I began healing even more. You cannot heal or change anything you are not accepting as reality. And the reality was, I was scared to leave my house. So for a while, my family did a lot of things without me. They went to birthday parties, they went to holidays and events by themselves while I stayed home. I was learning to put my nervous system first and release what guilt or obligations I had created around others expecting me to go places or show up. So it's okay to say, no, I'm gonna go ahead and stay home this Thanksgiving. I hope you have fun. Doing this also released so many fears I held around letting others down. Saying no, expressing my needs, and honoring myself over others. Together with releasing fear-based views of God and the fears I held around others, I began to see people actually respond kindly more often than not when you value yourself and you honor your needs. My view of God and people were changing. If God wasn't a judgmental, vindictive, and critical God, neither are people. Both are kind, loving, and caring. And changing this worldview made the world safer over time. Now, when I say over time, this took time. Lots of time. From 2018, when my agoraphobia was at its peak, through roughly 2023, some bouts still lingered here and there through 2024, and now into 2025, I have had maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but since May of this year, I have not had one single episode or thought of fear as I leave the house. I believe at the heart of agoraphobia, as well as any other form of anxiety, depression, or panic disorders, are our soul's longing for us to embody it. The stronger we deny it, the stronger the symptoms get. Moving on. Lastly, practice number 3, inner child work and reparenting. Our view of God often stems from our view of our parents. If we had authoritarian parents, we often will hold a view of God as authoritarian. If we had judging, critical parents, odds are we hold a judging and critical view of God in our minds. This can extend back through our entire bloodline, our parents, and their parents, dating back generations, usually at least 7 generations or so back. So this inner child work and reparenting is not saying our parents are bad, wrong, mean, or evil parents. They too were shaped with fearful beliefs growing up. For years now, as I reparent myself, I will actively take on the role of a wise and loving, nurturing, present, peaceful, unconditionally loving mother. When I feel fear of any form arise, I step into this mother and I talk to the fearful part of me as she would, saying all the things that I long to hear from a purely divine, loving mother. This doesn't replace my real mom. If anything, it lets her off the hook of any judgments that I have or expectations that I have from her. I don't expect perfection from her. Now I work mostly with the Divine Mother, but I will call on my inner father when I need structure and support to follow through with something that I fear, like when I first started making these videos. Most children respond well to a loving mother figure. So does our inner children. So to recap, steps to take to overcome agoraphobia. 1. Examine fear-based beliefs and programs. 2. Allow yourself space to be where you are, accepting where you are, and begin to honor your needs. 3. Reparent your inner child with love and devotion. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll be sharing more content in the future on embodying our higher selves, choosing them over fear. If called to, like, share, and subscribe, and I wish you a beautiful day.